Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. This time we are going to be talking about Burning Force on the Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive. Burning Force was put out in the arcades by Namco, and it is a 2D shooter that kind of feels a bit like a superscaler. If you don't know what a superscaler is, it's something like Space Harrier, where you have multiple scrollings going on at the same time. So you have both vertical and horizontal. You kind of can do a whole bunch of different things with it. They're very good looking games, and sometimes, which is the case with Burning Force, they look really good and play really well in one mode, and then when they get to the other mode, it kind of gets annoying. At least for me, it gets a little annoying. So you saw the first mode where you're kind of just locked at the bottom of the screen and you move left to right. This is the other mode where you can move around in more three directions, that sort of thing. This is the mode that I hate with Burning Force. I just really hate it because it's kind of hard for me to see where I'm going and what I'm doing. And it's hard for me to kind of line up with the enemies and then be able to see what's going on and actually know if I'm hitting them or avoiding their shots, that sort of thing. So each level is divided up into 4 stages. You have 2 where you're locked down at the bottom, and then 2 where you're kind of moving around. This is the bonus stage, and this kind of shows off just why I hate playing like this. I am awful at trying to control this game. Just absolutely awful. Visually, the game looks really good. I love the way it looks. I love the different levels that you can go through. I just really like it. It's bright, colorful, the enemies are kind of cool looking. The weapons that you get are kind of amazing. Sometimes it can be a little hard to tell if you are kind of in the right spot to avoid enemy shots, but overall, it looks really good. It is a fun game to play and a fun game to look at, with the exception of the kind of 3D stages, or pseudo 3D that it'll get you into. I should also mention the bosses look really good. Really just the enemies in general look kind of cool. When you play something like Space Harrier, they don't look as good, but with Burning Force, I feel like they did a better job. You're not just locked on one screen. You can kind of move around, and the screen will scroll a little bit with you left or right. And the enemies just look a lot cooler in this than they do in something like Space Harrier or Space Harrier 2. So I didn't know where to put this part in, but I was having a real hard time finding the arcade cabinet, which shouldn't be that hard to find, but I couldn't find a good picture of it. I do want to mention that the arcade cabinet came out in 1989, as far as I can tell. It probably looked really good from the few pictures that I've seen. It was pretty bright and colorful. It would have helped it stand out. And yeah, they really went all out on the mascot to make her look better. Because there are some parts where she looks really sexualized, and other images I've seen where she really doesn't. I'm talking about the promotional art specifically, not really in-game, where you can't tell too much about her. Overall, I really like the game. It does have a few things that I don't like about it. Personally, when you go into third person and you're moving around in your spaceship, that's the part of the game that I just find incredibly annoying. It's not done as well as what Space Harrier did, even though I don't like the way Space Harrier plays that much either. I feel like Burning Force just didn't do it that well. They did the 2D one where you're locked down on the bottom of the screen a lot better, and when you have to go into third person like this and move around more, it just doesn't feel right, at least when I was playing it. Especially when you get to this boss, oh my god, it was so annoying trying to move around and avoid the shots that are coming at you, as well as kind of figure out what the movement of the boss was. It's possible to do it, but man, it got really annoying. The bomb blasts are also kind of hard to line up. I never really knew if I hit anything or if I was actually blowing anything up when I would use them. It just got super annoying trying to aim that stuff, but yeah, it is what it is. I like the first two stages when you go into a level because I just found it was a better game when I was locked down on the bottom of the screen and just moving left to right. I I don't know. I just found that was easier to control, easier to kind of avoid enemies, that sort of thing. And it was easier to collect the power-ups. They do have those little jumps that you can go over, so you can kind of avoid a lot of the enemies to get the different power-ups. I like the way the weapons look. I think they look really cool, especially just for being the way you have to look at it. And they kind of just look like blobs, but every weapon kind of looks like that in a shooter. I think it just looks better in this than in some other games like Galaxy Force or Space Harrier. It is a very colorful, a very fun game. It is a lot of fun, even if I don't like certain parts of it. So, final thoughts on this one. Burning Force is a lot of fun. I wish I had gotten a chance to play the arcade when it came out. I wish I could have found the arcade cabinet, or at least a good picture of the arcade cabinet, but what are you going to do? Overall, I like the gameplay. I don't necessarily like this perspective with shooters, but I do like the way this one played. It's a pretty fun game. It does have a few problems, but none of those are like seriously bad ones. They're just kind of minor things that is really just a personal preference on my part. So that's going to wrap things up, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and have a great day.